गुड मॉर्निंग। कैसे हैं आप लोग? तो आज का टॉपिक है कोरिलेशन। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। नाउ तो आज के टॉपिक पे हमको पढ़ना है कोरिलेशन। यहाँ पे हम लोग कवर करेंगे स्कैटर प्लॉट। अलॉन्ग विद स्कैटर प्लॉट वी विल सी द कोरिलेशन concepts, that is parametric, non parametric, both type of methods। जिसमें पैरामेट्रिक में हमारे आएंगे कार्ल पियर्सन्स कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट एंड नॉन पैरामेट्रिक में हमारा आएगा स्पीयरमैन्स रैंक कोरिलेशन मेथड। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। पहले समझते हैं स्कैटर प्लॉट क्या है। सो स्कैटर प्लॉट इज अ स्कैटर डायग्राम और स्कैटरग्राम। बेसिकली स्कैटरग्राम होता क्या है, स्कैटर प्लॉट होता क्या है? तो स्कैटर प्लॉट की जब बात करें तो इट्स अ ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन which represents the relationship between two variables in a two dimensional. What it means basically, so it is showing a relationship between two variables which is represented in a two dimensional space, that is x and y plane. Let's see the example. So you can see over here, this is the scale x and y axis. यहाँ पे average hours of video games per week is shown with respect to average number of alcoholic drink per week. So what is this? This is a scatter plot. So all these points are scattered over here, is plotted over here. These are the values of, like, suppose there is some person who is watching 3 hours of video game or playing 3 hours of video game. So the number of alcoholic drink for that particular, similarly that particular data is based on that data. This particular data is graph is, so by seeing graph, which conclusion we can derive? Conclusion is यहाँ पे direct relationship. There is a direct relationship from average hours of video games and number of alcohol drinks. तो clearly क्या समझ में आ रहा है? That number of hours of video games increasing, the number of alcoholic drinks so is the case. Okay, so let's see the another case. Suppose we compare video games with the test score. Video games with the tests. Now, if you compare video games with the test score, let's see. So, video games and test score, this is the average hours of video games is shown to you with respect to exam score. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो दैट कि जैसे जैसे नंबर ऑफ आवर्स ऑफ वीडियो गेम्स बढ़ रहे हैं तो वैसे वैसे एग्जाम स्कोर्स कम हो रहे हैं। कुछ एक्सेप्शंस हो सकते हैं बट इट इज जनरल पैटर्न दैट यहाँ पे सारी की सारी वैल्यूज जो होंगी वो क्या होंगी, एक उस ट्रेंड को फॉलो कर रही है। ओके, सो यू कैन सी द ट्रेंड। व्हाट इज दैट ट्रेंड? इट्स अ नेगेटिव ट्रेंड, इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप मेंटेन कर रहा है विद द नंबर ऑफ आवर्स ऑफ वीडियो गेम्स इंक्रीजिंग, the exam scores are decreasing, so it is an inverse relation. So how we are getting this idea? Basically, so all this idea we are getting based on the scatter plot. Based on the scatter plot, let's see another case. What is this? So suppose we have a certain data where we are relating the smoking pattern of a cigarette with respect to increasing blood pressure. Can we determine a relationship? Can we plot the relationship with respect to that blood pressure? Let's see. And what type of relationship it will be, whether it will be positive, negative. So you can see the trend pattern. So smoking with respect to blood pressure. तो देख सकते हो कि जैसे ही स्मोकिंग बढ़ रही है, सारी की सारी प्लॉटिंग है, आप देख सकते हो स्मोकिंग यहाँ पे, जब समवन इज नॉट स्मोकिंग देन ऑल्सो द ब्लड प्रेशर इज 100, समवन इज हैविंग 110, समवन इज हैविंग 20, समवन इज हैविंग 150। ओके, तो हो सकता है कुछ और भी हो उसकी वजह से भी, बट कैन सी ड्यू टू स्मोकिंग you can see that if person is doing 10 number of cigarette smoking or 20 number of cigarette smoking, in general their blood pressure is, in general their blood pressure is, तो कुछ exceptions हो सकते हैं अगेन, कुछ लोगों के दूसरी वजह से हो सकते हैं टेंशन लिया, but it is showing a trend, it is showing a pattern. Okay, so to identify that, but we need to identify that particular pattern. So the case now, let's say what type of dating, or do we get any type of relationship? Yes, we are getting a relationship. It's a moderate relationship, but is it real? Yes, that relationship is real. है भाई, वो रिलेशनशिप शो हो रहा है, एग्जैक्ट रिलेशनशिप शो हो रहा है. ओके, सो कैन वी से दैट कि कोई ऐसा भी केस हो सकता है जहां पे रिलेशनशिप हो ही ना, या एग्जैक्ट हो रिलेशनशिप, परफेक्ट, एकदम परफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप हो, और नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप. देयर आर ऑल्सो दिस टाइप ऑफ केसेस. लेट्स सी. Suppose take example of heart disease and cigarette smoking. Let's compare the data of 21 developed countries. Okay, so let me show you that particular data. So this is the data of the 21 countries and their cigarette pattern as well as heart disease. Okay, the data is given to you. Now we will do the plotting. Okay, so this is the plotting of that particular 21 countries data. यहाँ पे सारी की सारी प्लॉटिंग हो गई. फोर नंबर ऑफ सिगरेट कंजम्पशन के लिए कुछ जो प्लॉटिंग है वाई एक्सिस, वो सर्टेन प्लॉटिंग यहाँ पे आ गई. तो दिस इज मोर्टेलिटी रेट पर 10,000. ओके, द क्वेश्चन इज डज हार्ट डिजीज, आई सी दैट पर्टिकुलर रिलेशन, कैन वी कैन वी rate this one, can we say that smoking increases the problem? Okay, what all these points indicate? So we can say यहाँ पे जो ग्राफ बन रहा है, जो ग्राफ बन रहा है वो upward side direction दिखा रहा है, positive direction. That is, with the increase in the cigarette consumption, the mortality rate is increasing. Okay, more disease, more death is, so that can be called as a positive relationship, positive correlation. Okay, relation है लेकिन पैरामीटर x का y के साथ में, का y के साथ, and that is also positive. So there is a increase with the smoking, heart disease is also. This relationship is called a strong relationship. See, relationship line आपको दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, straight line plotting. This straight line is passing through some points. This line is called as line of best fit. Line of best fit. Best fit. Say that to future. Yeah, line of regression भी. ठीक है. See, but this line is based on the residual values, based on the error. Okay, so let's move to the next part. Now the scatter plot concept, correlation. Let's understand what is correlation. The correlation is a relationship between two variables. क्या है? Correlation is a relationship between two variables. तो दो वेरिएबल्स कौन से? x और y. सपोज x जो है वो एक पैरामीटर, दूसरा y दूसरा पैरामीटर। सो x कैन बी रिलेटेड विथ y, और वो x एंड y दोनों जो रहेंगे वो ऑर्डर्ड पेयर रहेंगे, मींस ऑर्डर इनका फिक्स रहेगा, कैन नॉट चेंज द प्लेस, कैन नॉट से इट इज y, x, y, x का मीनिंग चेंज हो जाएगा। So what is x? Here x will be treated as independent variable and y is treated as dependent variable. For example, अगर कहते हैं that y equal to 2x, एक equation y equal to 2x ले ली, तो y equal to 2x, now that x है right hand side part पे x, that is my independent variable. Based on that variable, y is dependent. जब मैं x की वैल्यूज पुट करूंगा तो y की वैल्यूज आएंगी, that is dependent and dependent contention. So what is this correlation? That is a relationship between two variables. How to identify how much correlation? For that factor, have a correlation coefficient, and that correlation coefficient can be calculated by some form. Before that, let's cover that scatter plot. Take, take one example and plot it. So here a scatter plot is there. Example is given x and y. Respective x and y data are plotted. Simple plotting you already done the your previous studies. देख सकते 1 कॉमा -1 साइड पे 1 लेना है, y इधर पे -1, कहाँ पे भी करे वो पॉइंट, 2 कॉमा -2, 3 कॉमा 1, 4 कॉमा 0, तो 4 y के लिए, यहाँ पे 5 के लिए स्कैटर प्लॉट. Now let's understand what do we mean by negative linear correlation. That is how many types of linear correlation. हाँ, जरूरी है कि लीनियर कोरिलेशन ही नॉन लीनियर भी हो सकता है क्या? सारी की सारी. पहला एग्जांपल है लीनियर कोरिलेशन बट नेगेटिव. तो x increases, y decrease, x in y decrease, that comes under negative linear correlation. You can see यहाँ पे x इंक्रीज हो रहा है, जैसे जैसे हो रहा है यहाँ पे ज़्यादा था, धीरे धीरे y कम हो रहा है. इस तरीके के बिहेवियर को क्या बोलेंगे? नेगेटिव लीनियर. नेगेटिव है तो पॉजिटिव भी होगा. यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव का मतलब किस तरीके से होगा? जब x बढ़ेगा, x इज इंक्रीज, y इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीज. इंक्रीज इन x, ये वैल्यू के टाइम पे यहाँ से x की वैल्यू बढ़ गई, y की वैल्यू राइज हो गई. यू कैन सी ये जो लाइन जाएगा वो अपवर्ड्स की तरफ जा रहा है, ये लाइन जो जा रहा है वो डाउनवर्ड की तरफ. दिस इज पॉजिटिव लीनियर. नेगेटिव लीनियर, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव के अलावा तभी हो सकता है कोई रिलेशनशिप ना हो. दैट केस कैन बी कॉल्ड एज नो कोरिलेशन. अगर आप कोई भी रिलेशनशिप स्टैब्लिश ना कर पाओ, then it is called as no correlation. Here you can see कि यहाँ पे with increase in x, somewhere y is increased, somewhere y is decreased. Simultaneously, both are happening. I cannot plot whether it is going upward or whether it is going downward. Which graph, which way it is shown. So relations established नहीं हो सकते. There might be another case. मान लो linear correlation ही नहीं है. So that is called as non-linear correlation. Called as non-linear correlation. यहाँ पे देख सकते हो आप, ये जो पैटर्न बन रहा है स्कैटरनेस का, that pattern is nothing but it's a parabolic structure. Parabolic. सो आप बोल सकते हो ये नॉन लीनियर, लीनियर बिहेवियर नहीं है, ठीक है। अब आगे बढ़ते हैं कि कोरिलेशन किस तरीके से कैलकुलेट किया जाए। तो देयर इज अ मेथड ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द कोरिलेशन लीनियर केस के लिए, स्पेसिफिकली फॉर लीनियर। कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? तो कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट इज अ मेजर ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ एंड डायरेक्शन बोथ, strength and direction both between that two variables. So what is that correlation? How it is represented? So we are using symbol small r for representing the correlation. So small r लिख सकते हैं, small r bracket x comma y लिख सकते हैं. X comma y indicates that it is a correlation between x and y. So what is the formula for r? This is your formula. See, this formula can also be represented in the terms of mean, that is यहाँ पे x बार y बार भी हो सकती है, बट अकॉर्डिंगली चेंजेस होंगे n के फैक्टर में, पर अपॉन n आ सकता है, यहाँ पे n के फैक्टर नहीं, तो इस तरीके के चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, बट वी आर गोइंग टू रेफर दिस फॉर्मूला, ओके। so this correlation coefficient is also known as other name, that other name is Karl Pearson's, it is also called as Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So this formula was given by Karl Pearson, so that's why it is also known as Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient, or it is also known as product moment correlation. Product moment correlation. Okay. Or product moment method. So let's see. So if we are calculating correlation coefficient, it must have some value. So the value of correlation coefficient is ranging from -1 to 1. What this -1 indicates? So on the scale of -1 to 1, this -1 indicates that the relationship is strong negative linear correlation. Since this particular equation is only for linear one, that's why we are saying linear, and since it is negative side -1 की side है, तो वो negative हो गया, और दूसरा 1 है, तो 1 indicate क्या करता है? Strongness. So strong negative linear correlation, and if it is nearer to 1, it will be called as strong positive linear correlation. What if it is nearer to 0? Then that is called as weak correlation or no linear correlation. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी नाम बता दिया कि प्रोडक्ट मोमेंट भी बोलते हैं, कार्ल पियर्सन कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट बोलते हैं, एंड जो वैल्यूज है दैट इज प्लस माइनस, सपोज इफ यू आर गेटिंग प्लस 0.75, तो जो प्लस है वो इंडिकेट करता है उसके नेचर को, द पॉजिटिव है, नेगेटिव है, इनडायरेक्ट है कि डायरेक्ट है, पॉजिटिव मतलब डायरेक्ट और नेगेटिव मतलब इनडायरेक्ट। एंड दूसरी चीज, जो वैल्यू है 0.75, so 0.75 is nearer to 1, so that's why it is called as strong, और मैं मॉडरेट में भी उसको कंसिडर कर सकता, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो ऑलरेडी हमने देख लिया, तो वी कैन से दैट कि 0.75 से लेके 0.2 तक वो हमारा मॉडरेट रेंज, एंड दोनों साइड पे चाहे वो डायरेक्ट में, एंड at -1 and 1 is also called as perfect correlation, तो 1 आ जाए तो उसको भी हम परफेक्ट कोरिलेशन, परफेक्ट कोरिलेशन x, ठीक है, there is a perfect correlation in x and y. Now suppose r equal to 0 आ जाए, that is coefficient of correlation is 0, means that there is no correlation. Okay, if it is near to 0, that would be weak correlation. Likewise, okay, let's understand that linear correlation based on the values. So suppose if it is r equal to minus 0.91, so the graph would be on the negative side. Okay, minus indicates negative, 0.91 indicates that it is a strong relation. तो जो एग्जैक्टली स्ट्रॉन्ग है नेगेटिव है. स्कैटर्ड वैल्यू ज़्यादा स्कैटरिंग, जब वीक वैल्यूज रहेंगी तो स्कैटर्डनेस बढ़ी हुई रहेगी. यहाँ पे देखिए दूसरा एग्जांपल, यहाँ भी स्कैटर्डनेस नहीं है ज़्यादा, सिंपल सा पाथ फॉलो हो रहा है. आर इज इक्वल टू. नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल, वीक पॉजिटिव कोरिलेशन. तो यहाँ पे values are scattered over, values are scattered over, values are also, ये पॉइंट जो है वो एग्जैक्टली क्लियर नहीं. तो इट इज शोइंग यू द रिलेशनशिप that is a relation, but I cannot determine which relation, which code, that it is in decreasing, that type of r equal to. Okay, next one, we are having that particular formula. By using that particular formula, how to calculate the correlation. So if you can recall, formula is this one. Over here, the previous session you must have seen, wherever there is a summation, while dealing with summation problems, I have told you that to deal with them, it is important that prepare the table for all this. You need to prepare, for that you need to prepare the columns for all summation factors. So over here you can see summation of x, summation of y, summation of xy, summation of x square, summation of y square. That means that I need minimum 5 columns. Okay, so summation of x, summation of y, summation of xy, summation of x square, and summation of y square. Now use this value in the formula and you will get the correlation coefficient. See, this method is Karl's Pearson coefficient method. This is for parametric data only. Parametric means where parameters or quantitative data is given. Quantitative. Okay, it is only for the quantitative data. So in the exam, the question would be like this one. Calculate the correlation coefficient R for the following data, and only X and Y data would be provided to you. टेबल दिया होगा जिसमें X और Y के डेटा दिए होंगे, दोनों X एंड Y की क्वांटिटी सेम होगी. ठीक है, तो हमें करना क्या है, हमारा पहला स्टेप होगा ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल प्रिपेयर कर. So we can say that observation table is given as, now this is our observation table. So we are going to prepare the column for x, y. So this is already given in the question. Now you prepare x, y also, x square, y square. How you are going to prepare x, y? We have seen this in the previous sessions, but let's see. So x into y. So 1 into minus 3, get minus 3. 2 into minus 1, minus 2. Likewise, you get all the values. For x square, you do the squaring of x values. So 1 square 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. In the end, this column, blank column, we are going to do this summation. We are going to do the summation. The summation, find out the sum. Now, finally, after finding all the summation values, you apply the formula of the correlation coefficient, calculate the correlation coefficient. So, how you are going to do that? See, you have all the summation factors. But what about n? So I have already told you that n is number of x values, and y is, so that n is, or I can say that x or y both. x के लिए कंसिडर करूं या y के लिए कंसिडर करूं, दोनों को दोनों चीजें में n दे देंगे. तो n क्या होगा यहाँ पे 5. टोटल काउंटिंग y की या x की हो गए 5. पुट दैट वैल्यूज, गेट सर्टेन वैल्यू. बेस्ड ऑन वैल्यू, अगर वो नियर टू 1 आता है, that means that it is a strong relationship, and if it is nearer to -1, so it is a strong negative relationship, strong negative one. अगर पॉजिटिव आया, it is a strong positive linear correlation. Let's see. So it is a nearer to 1, that is positive one. So this is a strong positive linear correlation between x and y. Okay. So this much is expected in the solution. Let's see another case. This is the question. Now, consider this question. In this question, the data is given. The following data represent the number of hours 12 different students watched television during the weekend and the scores of each student who took a test the following Monday. Two questions are asked. Display the scatter plot and calculate the correlation coefficient R. Data of number of hours television is watched and test score is given. Let's see how to solve. If I want to solve this one, I need to consider that. Okay, first of all, let's plot it. So we will do the plotting as we were doing the previously. By plotting, so all the values are plotted. Now by seeing the plotting, what conclusion you can give with which type of relation, type of correlation? By seeing the pattern, say that it is going downwards. The increase number of hours of watching TV, test score is decreasing. So I can say that it is showing you negative relationship. Showing you negative relation. So let's move towards next one. Let's find out the correlation coefficient and verify this thing. So while finding the correlation coefficient, table y x square y square, हर चीज़ों की जरूरत पड़ेगी. टेबल में उसके हिसाब से वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करना है एंड उसके समेशन फैक्टर्स को भी फाइंड आउट करना है. After finding summation factors, put that values in the formula, correlation coefficient formula, and you will get the final answer. आंसर यहाँ पे क्या है 0.831 माइनस साइन के साथ. What this means, minus indicates it's a negative and 0.8 that is nearer to 1 indicates that it is strong. So strong negative linear code. What this means, so if you increase the number of hours of television watching, so that is going to decrease the test score. That with an increase in number of hours of TV watching, test score is going to decrease. Okay. There is another case, relationship between anxiety and the test. So then y data will be given. Prepare the table, put that values in the formula, and you will get the answer. Based on the answer, you can give the conclusion. There is another case. With this, you can follow the data. Age and the respective weight is given. Based on this, you need to find out the correlation coefficient. So for this, you can prepare the table, you can find out the answer. Okay, let's move towards the next question. You can solve this question your own. Now, I was talking about quantitative data. I was every time saying that parametric values, parametric method. Okay, so क्वांटिटेटिव नहीं है तब क्या, क्वालिटेटिव डेटा अगर आ गया तो उसके लिए हमारे पास क्या है, नेक्स्ट मेथड, Spearman's rank correlation. It is denoted by capital R letter or small rs letter. So what is this method? It is non-parametric measure of correlation, and here in this method we are going to assign the values, their rank values, for the x and y दोनों को ranking provide, and this method is for three types of data. Suppose both the values are quantitative, then also it is applicable. Both the values are qualitative ordinal data, that is qualitative data, then also it is applicable. And if it is the case that one is quantitative and other is qualitative, then also it is possible that you can utilize this method. So let's see the method. The procedure is that you provide the rank to all the values of x. The ranking should be from 1 to x. And then do the ranking of y parameters also on the same level 1 to n. Then find out the difference of ranking, that is denoted by di, and then take the square of that ranking, find out the summation of that square, then apply the formula, this particular formula, rs is equal to 1 minus divided by n into n square minus 1. So here this rs value, if rs value is there, that based on magnitude and nature of the association we can interpret what is that. So value जो आएगी, magnitude, it indicates that whether it is a strong or weak. Nature of association का मतलब क्या है, positive and negative sign. It's that whether it is a negative, positive, that is direct, indirect कैसा relationship है. Okay, so you understand this one. This is example of that one. तो यहाँ पे क्या दिया हुआ है, the study of relationship level of education and income, following data was obtained. Find the relationship between them and comment. That is, you need to find out relationship between the level of education and income. यहाँ पे level of education दिया हुआ है और उसका income दिया हुआ है, देखते हैं. So we need to prepare the observation table. You must recall that one. हमारे steps क्या थे, दोनों को ranking provide करनी है, x and y पैरामीटर दोनों को, and then ranking का difference find out करना है, फिर उसका square करना है. ठीक है, देखते हैं. So this is the sequence. This is the x data, y data, the rank of x, y rank of y. देखते कैसे find out. तो हम rank कैसे provide करेंगे, जो highest होगा उसको rank 1 provide करेंगे, lowest को lower rank. यहाँ पे देखना है education है, so what is the highest education? So by seeing you can see that university is the highest education. But problem क्या है, दो लोगों ने same level of education, so both would be provided rank 1, but how to provide the same rank to them? एक को rank 1 provide होगा, एक is not also possible. क्या करें, since two persons are holding the same position, so one, और वो rank कौन कौन से होंगे, rank 1 and 2, rank 1 and 2, rank 1 and 2. So what is that rank 1 and 2? Is So if when you take the average 1 plus 2 divided by 2, that comes to 1.5. So put this value 1.5 to both of the cases. क्या हो जाएगा? तो आपको वैल्यूज मिल जाएंगी. Okay. Next level of education is secondary. But when we see secondary, the two persons are having the same level of education. That means that they are need to be provided the ranking. So they cannot hold the same rank. So now position next position is 3 and 4. So we cannot provide 3 and 4 rank both. What we need to do is take the average of that 3 and 4. So 3 plus 4 divided by 2, that comes to 3.5. That comes to 3.5. So 3.5, assign both the values to them. Then next ranking 4 तक रिजर्व हो गया. नेक्स्ट रैंकिंग क्या है? 5. इसको प्रोवाइड करें नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन. प्रिपरेटरी को हमारा नेक्स्ट रैंक. फिर उसके बाद वाले को 6 जाएगा. तो नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन इज प्राइमरी. देन उसके बाद इलिटरेट 6 and 7. Same, we have to apply the ranking method for the salary, that is income also. So highest income would be ranked 1, then बढ़ते जाना rank. Now find out the difference. This is the difference one, and after that you find out the square of that. तो यहाँ पे difference 2 है. 0.5 minus 5.5 minus 2 minus 0.5 5 0.5. Based on that, take the square and do the summation. Now calculate the value based on this formula. तो यहाँ पे डी आई स्क्वायर चाहिए, समीशन ऑफ डी आई स्क्वायर. व्हाट इज एन? द टोटल नंबर ऑफ पैरामीटर्स, डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स. एक्स में कितने हैं फैक्टर्स, कितनी क्वांटिटी है? दैट इज एक्स में कितने हैं? 7 क्वांटिटीज. तो एन इक्वल टू 7. ओके. तो आर एस, कैलकुलेट द आर एस वैल्यू. What this minus 0.1 indicates? The minus indicates that it is a negative. 0.1 indicates that it is a weak correlation. So weak negative correlation. So what this also means? It means that there is no direct connection. There is indirect weak relationship, weak correlation between level of education and income. So we cannot guarantee that based on the level of education, the income would be higher or not. There is no direct relation. Okay. So this was for non-parametric qualitative data. Previous method which we have studied was for quantitative data. Okay. So this is some exercise for ranking. Out of this plot, the 2 are negative, 2 are positive. So these two values are negative 1. Let's see, minus 0.95. Which one seems to be more strong? This one or this one? So this one looks more strong. So this is the minus 0.95 and this is 0.9. Now there are two positive one. So which one looks more stronger? This one. So 0.93 weak and 0.49 weak. This is the weak. Weak मतलब ज़्यादा scattered है. Again positive है. ये positive की value देख. Last topic for causation, that is correlation and causation. How that causation is related. Okay. See, does not mean that key when the two factors are correlated, when the two factors are strongly correlated, it does not mean that they are in a cause and effect relation. What it means, for example, take the case of demand and price. If some particular product is having high demand, then the price would increase. Then the price would, so this is, now what if I say that since demand has increased, price has increased. Now what if the demand, since demand has increased and price has increased, now if price is increasing, what will be the status of demand? So based on the high prices, demand will decrease. So we can say that this is a exactly opposite relationship. पहले क्या था, डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप था, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, इनडायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप. Okay, so this is not showing you the same behavior. Okay, so since demand and price जो दो थे strongly correlated, but reverse process same नहीं था. So we can say that there is no direct cause and effect relationship between the variable. Reverse is not true. Is there any chances that third factor involved हो सकता है. The case of demand and price, supply is the third factor. If supply is high, then if demand is increasing, then also price will not increase. Okay, third factor can initiate that, or it can be the combination of third factor. Is it possible that the two variables, the relationship the two variables are showing, the coincidence is also possible? Okay, it might be the case that the relationship they are showing is just because of some other third parameter. Okay, or it is just the coincidence that they are matching. So this was the idea of the causation, the cause and effect relation. The correlation does not imply that it is following the cause and effect. That's it. Thank you.